on each other? And so we're going to start it, huh?
No.
ExAnime, episode 72. We're back.
Yeah.
See something like that.
Matt's going to ramble on a little bit about Attack on Titan. And then we got Platinum End, Love of Kill, and The Genius Prince's Guide to Rising a Nation Out of Debt.
Listen, we're running out of good stuff to talk about this week. Yo, shit's going down in Attack on Titan. You remember last time how Aaron started the rumbling? I talked about that, and the rumbling involved like thousands of like giant titans that are gonna stample the world and kill everybody.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about those giant titans? Yeah, they don't look where they walk, and they're actually killing a whole bunch of civilians. And people are now like, Eren Yeager sucks. And then there's another version that's like, Eren Yeager's the best. And then Vladimir Putin's over there like, yes, Eren Yeager.
Okay.
That's literally most of the top comments now on the post. No, if you want to learn more about Putin, check out Bon Nuit. No. Attack on Titan is getting good. And Annie finally is unfrozen from her little like ice cube thingamabobber that she froze herself in. Mm. It's been 4 years. And it's just so funny seeing like the Annie character come back, because it's usually like so far this season, I actually forgot that she was still a thing because they haven't mentioned her really. And I was like, what? Annie's back. Annie's back. And then all the characters like, wait a minute. Annie must be unfrozen. We got to go find her. So we went from one nation fighting titans to one nation finding out about another nation that turns people into titans, which is why they're living in hell, to then Paradise Island fighting back and starting the rumbling, to now, maybe the rumbling was a bad idea. Maybe we shouldn't trample the whole world. To now they're all working together to try and take down Eren Yeager. So I'm excited to see if they actually animate it the way the manga is written. There's a lot of people bitching like, oh, it's going to suck. It's like, I thought the ending was just fine. Like, I thought it ended the way it would probably actually end. And everyone's like, no, rewrite it. I'm like, fuck off. Like, it's like Death Note, you know? A lot of people are like, no, he should have got away. It's like, he couldn't always get away on there. I mean, the whole thing is like, he was brought to justice. To be fair, they did write an alternative ending where like he becomes president of the world or some shit like that. No, but Attack on Titan, like, then you find out not only is Annie still alive, she could hear that entire 4 years. She was trapped in that cocoon. She could hear everything for 4 years. And the only two people that kept visiting her was Armin and this other chick. It's just like, all I heard for 4 years was you and Armin yelling at each other. It's like, ooh, that shit sucks because Armin's a little bitch. Even though he's got the Colossal Titan, he's still a little bitch. The other big thing that was amazing about it, I'm going to take off these glasses. It's hurting for some reason now. At one point, so do you know any of the characters? Like Mikasa?
No.
Nope. Like basically Aaron's love interest or Aaron's her love interest. She at one point can't find her scarf. Her main character like design is she has a scarf that she always wears that Aaron gave her. At one point, there's this dying girl in the hospital that took Mikasa's scarf because she worshipped Mikasa. She's like, I wanted to be just like you. So I took your scarf to remember you. Mikasa walks over to this dying girl in the hospital bed. Granted, that woman dying was a real asshole. And was like, give me scarf. And she's like, I just want you to know that I joined because of you. Doesn't say a word. Give me scarf. Takes scarf and then walks away. I'm just like, man, that's pretty fucking cold, even for like Mikasa on there. But the best part though is a lot of the soldiers last time that were turned into Titans as part of Aaron's plan because they drank like spinal fluid, which is what transforms them into Titans, whatnot. Magic happens, man. I don't know what's going on anymore. You get to watch the Survey Corps back in action, the OG crew actually go and kill a whole bunch of the fucking Titans. You're like, this is what I fucking wanted. Less talk, more fighting. Because it's just been like 2 episodes of fucking talking, and I'm done with it. I want to see people fucking die. Like, literally fucking die. And then, Connie takes this one kid that got Titan powers. And Connie's mom has become a Titan, and she's been a Titan for like 4 years, and Connie's been taking care of her because she's like a Titan with like stubby little arms and a big head, so she can't do anything, so she's been lying there for 4 years. Which is also weird to see that like Titans don't have a lifespan no matter what. They basically photosynthesize is like the whole premise of it, or that's how they explain Titans get their power. And Connie almost feeds this kid to his mom. Luckily, apparently Gabby's teaming up with the Survey Corps because there was that whole thing last season of all my homies hate Gabby because Gabby shot Sasha, which is very emotional, which I hated Gabby. I still kind of hate Gabby, but I see where she's coming from now. Luckily, most people have realized now, like, Gabby's not a bad person. She was just raised to hate because you go your whole life being told the people on Paradise Island are devils. And the reason why you're in these concentration type camp things is because you're atoning for the sins of your ancestors, which is all bullshit to just control people. Besides that shit, Armin's like, how do I stop Connie from feeding this kid to this Titan? How would you stop someone from feeding someone else to a Titan?
Shoot him in the head?
No. You decide, I'm just going to jump in this Titan's mouth for the kid. And then Connie saves Armin. I'm like, was that the only idea you could come up with at the time of that? Like, they have these super speedy, like the little maneuver gear. Mm-hmm. And Armin had time to shoot the gear, stand on top of the Titan, talk to Connie, and then jump in the Titan before Connie could feed the kid. Connie saves Armin. Then they have this emotional 10-second thing of like, I shouldn't have done this. It's so wrong. They don't kill his mother Titan. They just leave her there. And the kid and them just kind of get along now. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then it leads us to the point of Levi's still alive. Listen, I've read ahead, but I got to act like I'm surprised. Levi's still fucking alive. And I'm like, yes, motherfucker's still alive. And Levi's like, let's go kill some fucking Titans. I'm like, dude just got blown up like a lot. Like, he got fucked up. So they do have like a Sasha kind of cameo where like Gabby saves this girl that hates. So basically, Sasha was an orphan at this orphanage, obviously, and grew up with these other orphans. Gabby got brought into this orphanage and they didn't know Gabby was the one that killed Sasha. They found out that she killed Sasha. They kind of hate her. Then Gabby has this redemption thing of saves this family from being eaten by a Titan. This one girl basically almost gets eaten by a Titan. And then in the blink of an eye, Gabby stands up and the girl thinks it's Sasha for a sec. She says Sasha. And I'm like, why you gotta do that to me? Like, it makes me fucking depressed. I'm already sad that Sasha's dead, and now you gotta fucking bring it up again. But there was a few more emotional things because they had to kill off kind of some big characters like Commander Pix, which was pretty big throughout the whole series because he got turned into a Titan. But he had a brave, like, death, sort of. He was fighting the invaders from Marley or whatever it's called. And then there was one point where I thought they were full on going to go kind of racist. So there's this one black guy, Oyonik. I don't remember his name. I don't remember the other girl's name either. They basically take captive the two people that were trying to get Eren his powers. So there's like a whole bunch of different things. There was Marley. Then there's Paradise Island, which are the Eldians, which are a whole nother separate part of that. Then there's the Jaegerist, which are Team Eren Yeager, trying to get him the power. But then there's people from the Marley Islands or Marlin Islands that are like, yo, we want Eren to have power, but we're not friends with the Jaegerist on there. So it's like, kill Eren Yeager. Paradise Island wants to be by themselves, left alone. But then this faction wants Eren to like take over everything. But then the Jaegerists want to destroy everything and leave the island by themselves. And the island people are just like, yo, we just want to stop dying. Mm-hmm. But the important part, which is why I'm like, are they going to be racist here? They have both of them on their knees about to shoot them. One's like a tall, like, man chick. It's a chick that looks like a dude. And it's like, they're about to shoot her. It's like, we can't shoot her yet. We have to shoot this guy. And they point to the only black guy, and they're like, we got to kill him first. I'm like, well, hold up, guys. Like, his crimes aren't nearly as bad as hers. Why are you going to shoot him first? Luckily, Jean takes the moral high ground. Shoots like 5 times on the ground. You think Jean shoots him. Jean's an important character from ever ago. And Jean's like, oops, I missed. And then that's what kind of phases through. There is one important thing. You haven't seen anything from Attack on Titan, right?
Only the first episode.
When people with Titan powers heal, they basically, like, let's say they get a cut. Basically, it's kind of like a burning, like their blood just kind of like burns off. It's like steam. Someone went back and watched an old episode of when Eren's trying on maneuver gear for the first time, but his gear is defective, so it keeps hitting his head. There's a scene from an original, like someone has an original torrent when it aired, where you see steam coming off from the back of his head where he hit his head in a small scene. And the next day he's like, oh, my scar is healed pretty well. Like, there's almost nothing there. And it's like, did they hint at this all the way from like season 1? Like, this wasn't even like halfway through the books yet, and they were hinting at it. So it was a nice touch. I don't know if it's true because I haven't actually seen it myself, but I've seen a few people post about it. So, But Attack on Titan, I think, will end. I will enjoy the ending. I feel like it's going to get shit pounded in the ratings because people are going to be like, I don't like that ending. Meh. Which is kind of a video you're working on there. But all in all, I think Attack on Titan, great story, great music. I think it's still the most played opening theme of the winter 2022 season so far. To be fair, there's not really any big contenders for that, minus Demon Slayer, but who's watching Demon Slayer for the music? Watching it for the fights.
Shut up. Eimer is...
What was the other show we were watching?
Platinum Man.
You're right. Luckily, Attack on Titan's coming to an end. Kind of like Platinum Man's.
So lame.
Dude, Platinum Man's actually getting kind of good. The pot's getting kind of good. Also, when the dude showed up, I'm like, this just kind of reminds me of a depressed captain from Bleach. What's his name? The spiky hair captain from Bleach.
Oh, Kenpachi.
Kenpachi, yeah. It just looks like if Kenpachi actually got a day job instead of became a soul reaper. It was pretty cool seeing how they introduced his character. I mean, what do you think? Or are you pulling up the list right now of the people?
No, well, I've got it up. But
So basically, we know the last 6 candidates, right?
mm-hmm.
So basically, Red, Yellow, Suicide Boy. Listen, man, they're really hammering that he wants to fucking kill himself. Then you have the one annoying chick. And then you have the other boy that's real cheerful. And then you have Kenpachi, cheap version.
Yeah, he's weird.
I like his character design, but I have one big beef. Do you know what that beef is?
His voice is so distinct that you can only recognize him as one character.
Oh, not really voice actor. I'm talking about plot-wise, what he can do. He can just call the prime minister at any point. I was like, did he just call the prime... What? And then the prime minister answers, yes. It's like they're in the middle of trying to capture angels, and they're like, yeah, let me take this phone call real quick. He's like, I'm going to prove this to you. But at least, listen, he could have been so much better if they introduced him a little bit earlier. Like had Metro Polyman.
Yoneda is the guy's name.
Oh, yeah. Yoneda?
Yeah.
Don't you feel like if they would have introduced him closer to the end of Metro Polyman's arc, it would have been much better. Like start introducing more hints of him.
Yeah. I think they're doing a slightly better job than what they did with Bleach, Death Note. The
weak beginning, strong end versus Death Note, which had a strong beginning, weekend.
Well, not quite that. Death Note's biggest problem was the shift after L died.
Yes.
Spoilers.
For a 20-year-old.
Yeah. And
look that up.
Compared to now, like, they did the similar thing, the big bad, Kanade, Metro Polyman, that whole arc.
2006.
Yeah. He's dead, and now we have the final pseudo bad guy.
I feel like they're good at making bad guys. Like Metro Polyman was a good bad guy.
Yes.
He was done well.
Yeah.
I
feel like part of his justification was weird, and
the thing is his justification was weird, but
look, the way his sister like technically died. That's some like rich person bullshit it's like there's a rock in my random like.
No, she hit her head on like a corner piece of a fountain thing.
It wasn't a fountain. It was just like a stepping stone.
Well,
like,
I mean, come on, like if you.
The fact that it wasn't
was
there when
character.
No, he's just rich and entitled. That's really his entire character.
Yeah,
base,
but the whole
who was in love with his sister.
But at least they gave like a good reason why he went like he fell too in love because of that spoiled disconnect from actual reality.
Sort of. It just Well,
I think he was a cool character.
he was an interesting character,
just
but he
bad.
definitely was never as smart as
They're
he
just-
seemed to be. And the thing that he had going for him was just the money.
They're just bad at making protagonists. Red, I can't kill anybody. Now Red, like, yo, if I need to kill people.
That's not even true, too, because we've had Light. Light is a great protagonist.
What? No, I'm talking about specifically in Platinum Ends.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. You said Light.
yes. We've been doing comparisons for Death Note.
No, yeah. I'm just saying specifically in Platinum Ends, it's like, I like the antagonist. Like the new kind of antagonist. He's playing kind of that antagonist role, especially when we get to the last episode. Because what are we talking about right now? We're talking about, do you have the list up there?
Yeah, it is episodes 18, 19, 20.
Yeah. So, I mean, by the end of episode 20, they at least, I feel like his justification for what this new, Yoneda, his justification, it's cool as a whole explanation, like why he feels the way he does. He's like, to be, I mean, that seems like the most scientific approach to it.
Real quick, basically, his problem is that the
His theory
God
is,
selection process isn't actually a God selection process. Basically, God right now, which would have been a being created from the prayers of people, is just using this as a process to make himself more powerful as prayers have faded.
Yeah.
And
because
like whoever becomes God won't actually be God.
He does point out the thing of like, the universe was made 18.4 billion years ago, whatever the numbers were. But Earth was only made 3.4 billion years ago. So he does give like kind of a scientific approach to it, which fits his character. You know, Metro Polyman was just kind of crazy. They didn't give too much details why he can do what he does. But this guy is straight up like, listen, the universe was created, then the world was created. Because you ask him, what do you think came first? Everything or God? And they're like, well, God, right? Then he gives that explanation. He's like you said, God came from the prayers, which is what gives him power. He's only doing this God selection process to get more people to believe. And that's where, you know, Red kind of comes up with the idea of, I should fight this guy because he's like, oh, well, what do you say? Like 0.1% of the world's population believes in God, said 7 million people or something like that.
That are basically religious zealots. Their entire life is devoted to God and the acts of God. And it's 0.1%, which even to Red, which is
7 million people. Yeah. That's too many people that would kill themselves. And that's why he's like, we got to stop him because 7 million people's lives are now at risk.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing where people are like, oh, for current times, COVID, where it's like you have a 98% chance to survive, where it's like, okay, but if there's 7 billion people on Earth and every single person gets COVID and 2% of them have a risk of dying, that's still
like 14 million people.
Yeah.
That could die.
Yeah. And
so
it's
at least he's
a massive portion of a population, especially when you compare things to
at least like the continuity of the characters' goals have stayed the same. So like Mirai is still like, I feel like these have been really enjoyable episodes because like they built up more to it, which is what I wanted. They gave us a whole episode of them just talking, which was good because now they can do whatever. Except Suicide Kid. Like, because they voted for Mirai to become the God candidate, but then they had the whole discussion of, well, we want to stay on Earth because if you become God, you have to leave Earth.
Well, they were in favor of him, but he said that he would want to be on Earth.
Yeah, and now Suicide Kid. But then they even have that discussion of like, well, Mirai doesn't want him to make it, you know, painless and easy for people to kill themselves. You should give them hope. So you get to see all these viewpoints of like that spoiled girl just wants everyone to be rich, but has no idea what she's doing. Because they ask everyone individually what they want.
Yeah, Yuri, and she's very self-centered.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
she's 100%
She just wants a red arrow.
Yeah. But what's even crazy is that there was at one point when they did the interviews, and I thought the interviews were going pretty normal, and you get to see like what an actual crowd's reaction was. And there was that one like bigger guy. He's like, yeah, if I could die painlessly and, you know, it wouldn't affect anybody, I would. Then there's that old person in the hospital. She's like, yeah, I agree. And it's like, when you really think about it, you know, there are some people that just want that and it would work great for them. But then Mirai's explanation is way better. Like if there's a chance for everyone just to be happy, make it happen. But then you get to that one kid, the non-suicide one. What's his name? Does it show it there?
Susumu.
Yeah, he's like, I wanted to have fun with my friends, but then this was really exciting. You know what? Let's give everyone a white arrow. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, do you know what you're doing there, kid?
It's the worst idea.
Then you see like the look in his eyes. It's like, you want to give everyone a white arrow, a chance just to kill someone? Like, that would be some real life.
I think real life example would be, we give every single person a button. It launches a nuke if you press it. And it's like, who would do such an outrageous thing?
Because there's always going to be a few people that are just going to be like, press it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, YOLO. But then, dude, that kid gets fucking blasted. Like, those sniper teams set up. I want to point out, listen, they never really said how fast Yoneda gets around the world, because he's like, I can travel fast.
They can travel faster than a bullet.
Yeah.
But if
reaction time's a thing.
Yeah. If they don't know that they're being shot at, then they can't react to it, and you shot in the back.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, this whole time they're all about, like, oh, we can fly faster, but reaction time's a big thing. Like, if you decide right away, I'm going to, bolt ahead, that's too fast. Like, even like people's reaction time, they talk about, like, police officers. If someone's got a knife within 8 feet, that's not enough time to react and then do what you need to do. I don't get why, Red doesn't just decide, okay, I'm going to bolt in 3, 2, 1, and just hit him. You know what I mean? It's a little bit of a issue.
Yeah.
They just needed to do a thing where, like, oh, when an angel acts, you get the same reaction time if you were.
Mm-hmm.
But that sniper thing made sense. They're all in one area. You're set up to shoot everyone.
Which, it was established that those weren't Japanese snipers. So, I'm just going to say it's American, because we do that shit.
Oh, I forgot there was that one weird offhand comment. Even God and America don't have this power. It's like, why the fuck are we talking about? Yeah. Also, that news station.
That was a prime minister, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was that one offhand comment, too. It's like, whoa, why is the defense force here? Who activated the defense force? I'm like, well, obviously one person's activated the defense force, and it's either the military or the president. You think they just randomly showed up with like 30 mil cannons?
Yeah. That, look, it sucks that the kid died. Probably for the best, though.
It's a good thing the kid died. Giving everyone a fucking white arrow, Justus, like, come on.
Yeah, well, either giving everyone a white arrow, or even just the fact that he was very willing to always just shoot someone with a red arrow. Like, the first time the helicopter showed up, should I shoot him with a red arrow?
Yeah, it's like, well,
notices one of the sniper. Should I hit him with a red arrow? And it's like, you are causing problems. Your death was preventable, but you caused and brought attention to the situation instead of noticing and being like, so, by the way, they see us and they may shoot at us. When that kid
got shot in the back, wasn't that sniper aiming at Mirai and it missed him and then hit the kid? Because it like went right by his head. Because I think the sniper he was looking at was aiming at the kid. So Mirai's sniper fucking sucks. Just saying.
Yeah.
But you've seen Gate, right?
No.
What?
No.
What? Oh. Do you care if I talk about it real quick? It's a small spoiler. There's a scene in Gate where like you get the gist of Gate, right? They go to this other world. I think it bring people back. There was this one scene where like Roy Mercury and then 2 other people go to basically this hot spring, and like 5 countries special forces units show up to try and capture them. They all fight and they die. It makes sense. What would happen in this show would probably happen in real life, realistically. You're telling us there's God candidates now? Like, even though the guy explained in front of this whole crowd that God might not be real, it's real funny to see crowd change opinions that quick, because crowds can. And I do like this character. I think he's one of the best antagonists so far of this series. There's a lot of other bad guys.
The problem is there's 4 episodes left.
I don't know what they're going to do. They're either going to have a big fight or they're going to come to a logical explanation to a God candidate. I feel like Mirai might actually kill someone now. Because Mirai hasn't killed anybody.
I don't think so. I think my theory, and real quick, the Saki, or not Saki, Nisei, his angel, it found out that she has a special ability.
Which we have no idea what it is.
Yes, we do.
What?
We've seen it. Which was one of those like, oh yeah, once it kind of gets like repointed out. And they also do talk about it.
The what special ability?
she can interact with the real
Oh,
world.
that's right. Yeah,
because no other angels can actively
interact with
stuff. And we saw it at the very beginning because she stopped him from jumping by literally catching him midair.
Because all the other angels stopped them right before the act, but they don't actually.
Yeah, and
wait,
she
doesn't. I feel like for some reason I feel like another angel because doesn't.
No.
Well, how did Saki kill herself? She went to the. Oh, I guess her angel just said, "Don't do it."
Yeah, as she was walking into the ocean, he stopped. So, Nisei is the only one that actively stopped in the middle of the action instead of like just before they could push into those final moments. So yeah, she has a special ability, which is like cool. It's weird that like I wonder why it's trying to play into such an important thing now.
I wonder if they're gonna do that reverse thing where like Yoneda has kind of the right idea about God, but at the same time doesn't. Because they do say there's an emergency about God. It's something I don't remember what the last comment was, something about like out of power, it's an emergency or they say something at the end of the episode that kind of sticks with you.
Yeah, when his Sesuma's body is being taken up, his angel, they're like, oh, you know, God's losing power, essentially. Like his power is fading.
I wonder if God like has always existed in this world, but then prayer has kept him going. Like maybe he's the reason why the universe was created and he used almost all of his power for that.
I'm not sure. It's interesting. I don't get where Nisei being able to interact with the real world is going to play an important effect, because they've really leaned on that the last episode. Like they had that entire conversation.
I wonder if the reason why she's important is she's the only angel that can interact with people in real life and create miracles, like maybe the water into wine stuff. Like she's the reason why, like she did something, and she's only one angel's allowed to interact because she can create the actual miracles.
Imagine if she was actually God.
I know. I kind of thought that too, but I'm like, they already kind of showed what. Maybe like she's actual God and this creature is the fake God. So he's right about the fake God, but not right about the real God. Like there's that higher.
Yeah. Who created the fake God?
Because she's the only one that's not really worried about anything. So I guess that would make sense. She's the real God versus creature. Also, I just want to point out those drones. I was like, DJI Mavic Mini. Like that was spot on drawn.
Yeah. And I do feel like, because he gave Yoneda gave the suicidal kid
both his white arrows, right? Because he had two.
A white arrow. He has two, or he has three.
Also,
he has three right now.
Yoneda definitely called dibs on those arrows. Like, yo, hook me up, give him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he killed Susumu. Because he was shot still alive. Hit him with the white arrow.
I guess that's right.
Like,
also, that kid should have been dead like immediately. I mean, that was a fucking hole, like a hole.
Yeah, and so right now he has 3 white arrows,
and he gave 2 to the kid.
Yeah,
I remember seeing 2 rings, right? So he gave him 2. No, I thought he only had 2 and gave both to the kid because he didn't have any white arrows to begin with. Also, Yoneda's fucking
Yoneda already has a white arrow. His angel is a special rank. So that's why they were so focused on trying to find him.
Also, Yoneda, his angel is just creepy as fuck. Like they built up this
angel of destruction.
I liked how they played it up. And it's like, it's probably like a buff angel. And it's like, here's this old, ugly hag angel. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. It's very fitting. Destruction is ugly.
His reason for wanting to kill himself makes it
no, not destruction. It's annihilation, right?
No, it's destruction.
Is it destruction?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's destruction, because destruction sounds right. His whole reason for wanting to kill himself. So everyone has their own reason for kind of wanting to, kill themselves. His was too much attention. He's more of a loner, because you get. Also, there is a little too much convenience, like I've said, like, oh yeah, police chief and this guy went to school together. It's like, okay, here we go. Here's some more convenient stuff.
Yeah.
Dude's fast as fuck though. But he has what, two God, what's it? Nobel Peace Prizes? Or Nobel Prizes? Sorry, not Peace Prize. 2 Nobel Prizes, one in physics and one in like writing and shit. And Suicide Kid now has something to live for. He's like, oh, if I'm killed by you, that's okay. It's like, well, hold up, kid. Now you got something you can live for. Like, come on.
Yeah, Angel of Destruction. Mooney is her name.
Mooney is her name?
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I feel like all the Angels designs thus far have been like all right. Hers is very, very good. Who was Metro Polyman's? That one was drawn pretty good. Like all the Angels, I feel like kind of match. Yeah, most of the Angels match their personality.
Revel, Barrett, that of emotion and knowledge. Barrett's design was cool. I like the monocle.
Oh yeah. Wait, is Barrett's was who was Barrett's?
Makaido's.
Oh yeah. I love how. I don't love it. I hate how like quickly Makaido just kind of fucking dies. He's just like meh.
Yeah.
But I feel the thing is like if they took a little more time with the show, like they have with this last part, would have been way better. Mm-hmm. But I still feel like it would have benefited from hinting at him earlier, or maybe like having him as like an offhand comment, like, you know, this guy has 2 Nobel Peace Prizes on here, and like no one's seen him for a while, or like, you know, he's disappeared. Like just an offhand something to give you a hint that maybe, you know, this guy might be a.
I do think Yanada is going to die by the Suicide Kid's hand.
Oh, the Suicide Kid can't live without it.
No, he has a red arrow, so he's like in love with Yanada. But Yanada's talked about how he's wanted to die before. If you can convince someone while he's actively talking about where it's like, yes, I still want to die, the person who is absolutely infatuated in love with you and is trying to fulfill any of your wishes now has a white arrow, you just got to convince Yanada to say the correct things, and then
I want to die and just
yeah.
Well, Yanada's already stated like he wants to die and find out like, is this real? Is it like, you know,
but just getting the right kind of scenario.
Yeah, he did give that offhand comment of like, I want to know what happens after death. We can't explore what happens after death. So hopefully they don't make it a cheesy thing like, yeah, I think I want to die. You should be
also,
God.
we keep saying the suicidal kid. I think his name is Shuji.
Suicide Kid.
But yeah, he's I feel like that's gonna just be the downfall play.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's written good. You know what else is written good? Or getting better? Love of Kill. Listen, the car thing was bullshit. Also, I did have pretty big beef. That fight was so dumb. Like, he literally brought a knife to a gunfight. And it literally was like, what? Maybe like if you put it all together, it was like a 20-second fight. He shoots him
it was yeah.
He runs at him with the knife and he shoots him like 20 times. And then he still gets stabbed. To be fair, like we said, you know, that kind of, there's a certain distance rule that like, you know, sometimes it does take time to die from being shot. But they already pointed out that like he might have been, have adrenaline in him after being shot once. But it was so pointless. You gave us a character, you built him up a little bit, giving him a background, and then you just fucking kill him 2 seconds later. Give me something else. Like, connect him to another crime boss. You know what I mean? And they don't connect them at all. They're just like, Sung Rae Ho. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Sung Rae Ho? Or something like that? H-O-U? And then I don't remember what the girl's name is. She is doing something now, kind of.
Chateau. Miss Dankworth.
I don't know what to think about the show. I like it. I feel like those 2 episodes were bad. The one we watched last week, episode 4 and episode 5, wasn't great. Also, that car exploding in closed space, concrete walls, gets a little bit of glass in her foot, and that's it. I'm like, your eardrums would be ruptured, concussive force. And plus the smoke inhalation.
Yeah, like, I also complained about it last time, but we knew that she was going to survive because it was literally in the preview.
Yeah, the preview should have done nothing. The preview should have had him like on the ground, you know, because they have that scene where he gets outside, he's next to the car. Also, there's like 4 instances in that episode where I'm like, oh, watch him put her in the car, he's going to collapse and she's going to have to drive him to safety. Oh, it happened. But the ship, so we're on that ship, right? And this is this is a good foreshadowing scene like we talked about in Platinum Ends a second ago. You should give foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. So they give foreshadowing on this kid, right? And then you see this kid on the ship. Not much happened in these episodes. It kind of went kind of quick. I don't know how their boss is alive. So this kid finds the boss in the ship. The boss in the ship's trying to talk to Sung Reo. Oh, I don't know, Mr. Ho. I'll just call him that. And then while he's waiting, he gets stabbed in the fucking neck. Why didn't that kid just like finish him off? You know what I mean? Why not? Why stab him in the neck? Leave the evidence. Why not pull out?
With the butterfly? That was Juan, right?
Yeah.
I have it up.
The whole thing with it is like
Jinan is how he goes by.
They do point out like this is his first assignment, but if he's trained to be a killer, he should still get the kill.
Mm-hmm.
So now doing the whole offhand thing of like, oh
yeah. Dude, there's so many things where like convenience is like this show's favorite thing.
It's not
Ryung has
like it's getting better about the convenience thing. It's just till now it's been a little too convenient.
No, I wouldn't say it's gotten better at all.
It's not as bad as what it was. It's gotten better.
Their entire mission is based around like being on this nice cruise ship. Conveniently, and the thing that they try not to tell you is somehow this fucking dude's wife is a multi-billionaire.
Why do you think he pays for the business that brings in almost nothing?
Yes, but like there's a difference. You know, it could be like, oh, she's a millionaire. It's like, no, didn't they say like her net worth is upwards of the range of like $100 billion? Like stupid wealthy.
No, I think it was 10 billion, which is like 100 million. Because when they say billion, remember it's in yen, not USD.
They never specified yen.
But you got to think it's a Japanese show. Come on.
Yeah,
like,
well, yes, but
I'm not going to watch like Reacher. Okay, I'll pay 10,000. Oh yeah, they mean pesos. It's pretty obvious they mean like yen on there. So 10 billion would be 100 million. It's still a lot of money, but to be fair, it's not like a convenience plot point. It's more of a that is her character thing.
Yes,
like convenience is the whole like car exploding and Rio is like, I'm conveniently here to save you. Yeah. It's like this is advancing the story.
Yes, I would agree with that, except I'm very sure she is a literal billionaire and they meant more on the USD side, because even someone who's only worth about $10 million wouldn't basically be the individual.
Well, it's 100 mil.
Or 100 mil?
Because she said 10 bill, so that'd be 100 million yen.
Okay. So even
100 million USD.
Even around like 100 mil, which is a lot of money, would you think that like they would be the individual who is entirely organizing and kind of owns this cruise liner while like also having private security?
She doesn't own it. She's a guest on the list. This is a party. She's going to the party. She's invited as a rich person. And her private security is her husband's security firm. So why not offer that security? I think you want it to be more convenient, but that's just, it's a cruise. Let's say Jeff Bezos is running a cruise, right? He's not going to.
If I remember the way they phrased it correctly, she is one of the people, because he says a relative of mine helps and like owns the company, which is why they were like invited to the launch of this specific liner, and it turns out to be his wife.
I'm pretty sure she was like maybe a partner of the company, but it says it's a list of only guests or investors. So it's highly possible someone worth 100 mil is investing in like cruise liners, and it's not like whole convenient. It's more of the story driving thing. Like convenience would be, you know, Platinum Ends. Oh man, there just happens to be a gun right here I can use. That
also, that wife has like no concern for a husband. That like,
have you seen her eyes? Stabbed. She looks dead the entire time. They purposely didn't draw anything.
Yeah, she didn't have any urgency when her husband was stabbed in the neck, and they were like getting it. It seemed more of a.
I feel like there's just poor like character. I don't know if it was poor character building or maybe it leads into something there.
I don't like the little dude. I hate the fake Japanese accent stuff. They had
the guy from the business, or are you talking about
the one that doesn't have a fucking mouth?
Yeah, that's he's pretty weird.
Yeah, the only thing where they had like a good joke where he clearly like can speak regular Japanese, and they do that like tiny quick joke, and it's like that's the only time I enjoyed him on screen.
Yeah, he's just kind of like a character to like, I feel like, tide you over in between scenes. They connect scenes on there.
When they first get on the ship, he's there a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot of talking.
I mean, he's a one annoying character. I feel like it's getting better. I feel like the show, because it's what we watched. This is episode 5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
and I think 8 comes out like tomorrow or something like that.
No,
I think these last 2 episodes have been way more enjoyable than the rest of the shows thus far. Like the whole like car crash kidnapping her thing was like whatever. I feel like instead of being, what was it? It was like was that 2 episodes or was that 3 episodes worth? I think that was
for the cruise ship. It's 2.
No. The cruise ship is 2 so far. I'm talking about when it's almost 3 episodes where she saves the hooker girl, gets in the car, drives away, spiderweb tattoo cheat guy, because that would have been episode 2, 3, 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
That should have been only 2 episodes at max. I feel like they should have been doing 2 episode things. You know what I mean? And then the last 3 episodes tie it all together.
Yeah.
But I think now the cruise line ship, it's kind of getting interesting. It's like, okay, what's going to happen? She has to pick between, because this kid basically knows where her mother is, can kill her at any time. So they're trying to get her to kill Ho.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say his name, but I forgot it already again. But they're trying to convince her to kill him. She has that breakdown of she doesn't want to kill him.
Ryung Ho?
Yeah.
Ho is the dude that's already dead.
Oh, that's right. What's our main dude? Who's he?
Sung Ryung Ha.
Ha? Okay, so she wants to kill Ha, but she can't really bring herself to do it on there. And now he's going to help her. I do love how they make that thing of like, oh, they just pass it off as like they shot a gun to scare birds. Helicopter was because someone had a seizure. I feel like that's how they would try and play it off, especially if you're on a cruise. Like if you found out there was a murder cruise, people would be begging to like not be on this cruise. Mm-hmm. But that's definitely how a corporate company would play it off. But I think so far the characters are decently interesting, the kind of character thing. But they definitely have this like third organization now that raises like murder assassins. So I wonder if they're going to send that other kid to help assassinate. I feel like this kid is definitely going to get killed. And then the other kid's going to do this revenge thing. And that's kind of where the plot's going to advance to. But they do point out something about her name. He knows her actual name.
Mm-hmm.
So Ha knows her actual name and knows a little bit more about her. But now there's these kind of mysterious guys.
Yeah, there's also been flashbacks where it's clear that the person that is being sent after to kill Song, he is the one that took in the younger version. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. They took in the younger version of him.
No, not of him. Of the original one. Because that's the thing they're not actively, like, telling. So you're seeing flashbacks, but the young character that you're seeing has freckles all over his face, like around the nose. Our main guy doesn't.
Oh.
So, yeah, it seems like we're seeing some flashback stuff of the original Song. But
yeah, I don't know.
It gets to be confusing because it's the same name for 2 characters. One who's currently dead and one who's alive.
Also, I'm just surprised he has well, we don't know if he's dead or not, but he is in surgery from that neck wound. One thing I do like is they actually kept the animation of like securing the knife while he's being transported rather than have like the knife just not be there and it be wrapped. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's a good thing because you just shouldn't fucking remove a knife especially from like where artery might be at. But it is cool that the boss does take the few seconds to tell her like it wasn't him that did this, so she can have that, you know, because it would have been, because if he never told her he didn't do this, I guarantee you she would have had no problem just shooting him then and there and calling it a day. So I feel like this cruise thing is going to be one more episode, And then we'll kind of get into that final arc of this is where the plot has led. Because we watched till episode 7, so there's 5 more episodes left. So I think it's a 12 episode show, maybe? Right? I wasn't sure if you were looking at it there. But yeah.
How many episodes this is?
Yeah, I think it's 12, right?
Yeah, it's just 12.
Yeah,
so we're on 7.
We don't have many
halfway
that's
through.
Yeah, we don't have many that's 24 this season. I think they're all like basically 12. But it's a pretty. Yeah. Listen, I don't have a good segue for this. Basically, she's like a princess, the genius prince. Oh, guys are racing a nation dead. Dude, this show is so much fun now. At first, it was kind of slow.
It's so much better than anything else, compared to like Platinum End or Love of Kill.
This week, it's definitely the show that I think, now that Demon Slayer isn't part of it and you don't watch Attack on Titan, it's definitely the strongest out of the C list on there. I actually had fun watching because I was watching in Discord a little bit ago. There was one important thing. I want to know how she got those boobs and that armor. Just saying. There was a scene where she's got like big old like double D's, but when you see her in scenes before, she's in her like military uniform. No one will know that I'm a girl if I dress like a guy. Like, shut the fuck up. Everyone knows that you're a woman. Stop. Oh. So basically they had, I don't really know what was going on this episode. There was the small skirmish because last time we left off, you want to explain it or where we kind of left off last time on it? Or do you want me to explain?
You can explain it because
I just feel like I was talking too much.
No, I mean it's also super fresh because I kind of forget where we left off.
Where we left off was episode 4 because we watched episode 5, 6, 7 this week of it because this was the one week we had to do 4 or whatever. Last time the prince got drunk, fought our dude. Wine. Yeah. So the prince got drunk, started fighting Wine because he wanted to impress her, but they were trying to make it a play fight, so he left happy but not disappointed. But then he took it too far, went to stab him with the wood sword, kept running out the door, fell off the balcony, hit his head, died. I got beef with that. If a dude that heavy fell that far on his head, that head would be fucking splattered. There he was in a coffin, perfect head, perfect face too. It's like, what the fuck killed him then?
Good makeup.
Good makeup. Maybe he fell, hit the back of his head, and his brother's keeping him inside in Crisis Chamber. It's a Platinum End reference.
It's lame.
Well, you're lame. I don't know. It was cool transitioning because now Wine gave the other kingdom and Wayne. Yeah. Oh, whatever. Wayne. Whatever. The princess, dude. He gave this other kingdom because the other kingdom was planning to overthrow him in a rebellion. No, he's planning to overthrow the empire in a rebellion.
There's a bunch of plot points that get a little confusing in these 3 episodes where you're like, all right, so I got to remember this. Where in that one, there was supposed to be a rebellion, not from his nation, but the blonde-haired girl.
Her nation was supposed to have the rebellion. That's right.
Yeah.
And they were trying to do a rebellion there so then they could gain more power. I think was the point of that.
Yeah, it was super weird. It also doesn't help for like my anime list where some of the characters have nicknames and
whatever. I don't know. It just all felt like one long episode. Because after they have that meeting, there's basically a group of assassins from another nation that are trying to kill them. You gotta stop moving that mic, my guy.
Sorry, it's not even that loud.
Oh, sorry, I can just hear it. I don't know if it comes over on yours, but
no.
Oh, whatever.
And I can hear myself talk.
Oh, there's basically the plot point of. So the main plot right now is he goes to Kingdom A to kind of tell him the truth about what happened with your son, so he doesn't start the rebellion in Kingdom B, but then Kingdom C is trying to help Kingdom A make their plot work so both A and C can take over Kingdom B, but then they take Kingdom D comes out of nowhere and is kind of giving...
I think you're making it slightly too more complicated than
No, because there's the whole thing fits in with this other thing on there. So, Kingdom A is the one that wants to throw a rebellion over Kingdom B, but then there's Kingdom C that's helping Kingdom A try and get the rebellion of Kingdom B. But then later on, you kind of find out like, oh, we need Kingdom D in order to help us get Kingdom Original to link up with Kingdom B so we can take out both of these nations on there. It's a whole fucking thing. This is why we're talking about there's too many fucking plot points. You just got to fucking watch it on there.
The only kingdom I can actively remember is Natra, which is
I don't know any of the names. I just know a lot of kingdoms are thrown out there. And a lot of,
the 3 episodes that we watched, basically, they subvert the first attempt, which one of the dude loses an arm. The assassin kind of dude that's trying to start the rebellion, when they go to drop the body off. Because
you're talking about when they're going to drop the body off to the...
Yeah, because there's those that are trying to rush basically a fake rebellion with paperwork, and they try to kill Wayne. They're the ones wearing blue. They're separate from the actual Duke that they're dealing with.
You see what I'm talking about? There's too many fucking plot points in this show where there's too many nations with too many hands in the pocket.
Wayne cuts off the one dude's arm. He has a spear.
Yeah.
And we see him again later because he's a squirrely little bitch. Everything works out fine in the end because of the way Wayne played everything with yearly military exercise and luring the Duke basically to that, while also having all the paperwork set up to be like, you were going to start this, and just forcing his hand on everything, and then everything is resolved there. The next 2 episodes, we go to a very racist country. Woo! Slave trade.
I mean, he's like the right path when the guy's like, yo, send me some of those, what are they called? Furlas? Or Farmas, whatever they're called? Whatever. It's the race of the white hair girl that's under his control.
Mm-hmm.
I love him because he's always like, the dude starts talking shit. He thinks it's going good. He's like, this guy talks shit about her. Stab. It's like, I love how his knight comes in like, what happened? I see. I'll guard the door. It's like, how are we going to delay them? Set the palace on fire. Then the people start rioting, and it's like, this dude just keeps taking down nations without even trying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's hilarious.
And then I love how like,
what? So real quick, we do get introduced to a new individual because at one point they were going through one kingdom, which was one that they were enemies with. Then there was kind of like the neutrality.
You see what I'm talking about? There's so many fucking
after
shows.
They've taken the gold mine. It's the one that they were fighting with the gold mine. They get attacked. Then they meet Zeno, a general in the army. Not really. She turns out to just be the princess of there, who is ruling, so technically queen at that point.
Yeah. It was really weird how they went about like, there's no other nobles, but there's me. It's like...
Mm-hmm. Then that doesn't make you the princess. That makes you the queen.
Yeah, they're like, if you're the only one left, it's only you.
Yeah. And
it's about power.
They create a pact where it's like, you can come along because the country, Clavonia or some shit, starts with a C.
I feel like this is going to be an Always Sunny meme where I'm just going to have to point at the wall and be like, listen, there's a kingdom here, there's a kingdom here.
Yeah.
I feel like the series is just going to end with him making like a combined like 4-nation whatever. Because like it is kind of convenient, but at least he does the explanation kind of as he's going. Because they do set that trap of like, all the luggage is here, so they went there, so we'll do this. And we didn't move down that path because we just left the luggage there. It was a gamble, and we came up, and then bada bing, bada boo. There was the bullshit that other episode. Was it like episode 3? There was actually a second tunnel. All we had to do was dig a little bit more. It's like, fuck off.
Yes. I have the map. It's not helpful.
That map is not going to help at all because I don't know which kingdom was what and what plot was going on where and who was fighting who and stabbing what. I do love how his commander of his night force, what was the old dude's name? I don't remember his name, even though I just saw it a second ago. Shows back up out of nowhere. It's like, what? He's here? It's like, yeah, I had to play this off. And the guy's like, hello, honorable knight. My name is, and the dude just walks over, cuts off his head. There's no point in remembering a name of an unworthy warrior. It's like, damn, that's maybe what most people should just fucking do. Fuck their speech. Just kill them.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Yeah, maybe he's a badass character on
It's another situation though where they literally just outmaneuver everything.
And that's just kind of the whole point of the show.
He is very smart, but even in the process of like winning, he's unhappy.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it, I just want to fucking retire with all this gold.
Yeah, because even at the very end, when the king is killed, because of course he talked bad about Ninum, which
so he just fucking stabs him.
Second time he's done that, by the way.
That's the second time someone's talked shit about her, and he's like, nope.
Yeah, because the first time was the general during the gold mine siege where...
Yep, kills him on there.
It's like, all right.
I feel like he killed someone else too. Maybe he just killed someone to kill someone on there. But definitely, I feel like that's the second time he's just like kind of stab. Because they were going kind of for a funny part, and then it gets very serious very quick when it gets racist on there. Because basically his nation used to hunt them for sport, or like, which is weird to me. That people are hunting. I mean, to be fair, the Nazis did it. But it seems weird that they treat this one race have always like animals, even though they look identical. Identical. To be fair, it's opposite of 86 because what their character trait is they have white hair. So do they hunt old people for sport because they have white hair too? Just saying.
I mean, even this, in this kingdom, people who aren't born with the correct bloodline are basically referred to as slaves.
You know what's funny about this? This whole season, you were worried about watching too many isekais. I think we only have one isekai this season.
To be fair,
Life with an Ordinary Guy who... To be fair, we thought Genius Prince was going to be an isekai, and I think we thought Strongest Sage was going to be an isekai, but it's not really.
Strongest Sage is
borderline.
A resurrection.
Yeah.
Close.
Not quite the same, but close.
Really fucking pushing the line.
I still say, at least nothing's as weird as like Peach Boy Riverside. Peach Boy Riverside wasn't weird because of like how they like, because it was weird. It was weird because like you're watching one episode, then the next episode could have taken place 3 episodes earlier, but it still worked because it introduced characters that needed to come in at certain times. But that was weird.
Yeah. And we do get a they have a puppet state now, essentially.
Doesn't he have to like marry her or some shit like
no,
or something
no,
like that?
She just fields loyalty.
Oh.
So there, he went from just taking a gold mine to literally owning that country now, and like being in charge of it.
That is about all I got. I do have some news I want to discuss before we leave. We'll just work through the news real quick. First off, Fullmetal Alchemist launches a 20th anniversary project, and all they have is a live-action picture of Scar.
Oh, yeah.
Do we know what that is yet, or is that still kind of vague in the air?
It's vague in the air, but it looks like it's a live-action thing, and people are like, please don't be a live-action thing. Please.
But if they do it right... The thing is, I always want to give live actions at least a chance, because there's been a few times, like Gintama's was okay, Cromartie High School's was okay. The problem is companies don't dedicate enough. Like Fullmetal Alchemist is live action. Did you watch it?
Which, you mean the one that was only like 4 years ago?
The one on Netflix, was that 4 years ago?
Wasn't that long ago?
I thought it was only like 2 years ago.
I mean, it could have even been sooner, but the point I'm getting at is...
I feel like if they made it a mini-series instead of a one-off thing, would have been way better on there. I do want to point out, you know when Attack on Titan, I talked about how in their world, Annie's only been in that thing for 4 years. Yeah, that voice actress hasn't been on Attack on Titan for 9 years. It's been 9 years from when she froze herself
in that Cocoon thing, which was the end of season 1, Justus, to now. It's been 9 fucking years since that ended, and we're where we're at now. So Attack on Titan should definitely get Anime of the Year.
It was 2017 for Full Metal Alchemist, by the way.
Oh, for that movie? Really? It feels like it was somewhat. I guess COVID, everything just kind of blends together on there. Did we talk about Classroom of the Elite last week?
No.
Or was that within now? So Classroom of the Elite got a season 2? Or is getting announcement for season 2 on there.
Yep. Which is crazy. Spice and Wolf has a reboot or
anime
a
project?
season 3. It's either a reboot
So did
or
you
a
watch
season 3.
Spice and Wolf?
No.
I
know
don't
that
remember.
it was long enough. People were already advocating to please continue the damn thing, but also just reboot it and then.
I feel like now is a good time. There's so many old things that are getting rebooted to finish it off that people are okay with it happening because they just want something, you know?
Yeah.
Do we want to spoil the Fire Force thing, or do we want to talk about it?
I mean, apparently there's a super interesting thing about Fire Force where things gotta.
Now I gotta read Fire Force all the way through. I didn't really care, and then they said that one thing, and I'm like, hold the phone.
I have a bunch of the volumes if you want to read them. I've got 20.
You should do some reviews.
I have 20 volumes.
You should do a review on each one.
No.
It'd be quick content, you know.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the thing?
Hey, how's that Die Dark one going?
It's literally
quick content.
It's literally done. Yeah. It's literally almost done. I'll get into it later. There's a whole bunch of work things. It's dirty blow. No, did you see the thing about Tokyo Revengers?
Is getting a second season. I know that.
Well, no, Tokyo Revengers manga outsold Attack on Titan and One Piece. This it's hang on, let me see. According to Oricon ranking, blah blah blah, Tokyo Revengers sold 5,007,825 copies in 2021. That's a lot of fucking copies. Let's say the mangaka got what, maybe $2 a book? I don't know. They always get underpaid on everything there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, depends.
Someone pointed out Demon Slayer movie made this much money, but the manga artist only got paid I think it was $10,000. It was something insignificant. They made millions and millions and millions, but they only got this much of it. I don't know what the deal was. They really should just be nice and give them more money, but I don't know. They made enough money off that movie to pay for the whole franchise to come on there, basically. But that was crazy to see that Tokyo Revengers sold that much, especially versus One Piece, and especially Attack on Titan with it ending and it being announced last year that it was ending. I thought people would just buy up, but that's all the news I got. Next week is A-List. Were we gonna go see that movie? That won't be for a while, right? Because
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, that's not until March 18th, right?
Yeah.
I should probably order our tickets today then.
We're gonna have to get an early showing.
When's the 18th?
Oh, well, I don't know when the showings are.
18th is a Friday.
And
my guess is they probably will have a 7. I don't know what days if I work that Friday, would it work? I have to go see it on.
If there's a Sunday.
Yeah, I'll probably have to go see it Sunday then.
Yeah, if there's a Sunday, that's dope.
I heard it's good. I mean, it's sold a lot of tickets on there. So we'll have to see it because I wonder if they'll do the same thing where they'll have the movie tickets. Once everything's done, they'll put it on Crunchyroll before the season comes out. Because they did that for Katsu no Yaiba, right?
Yeah, but that was a UFO table thing.
Oh, okay.
UFO table split it into the 7 episodes.
No, I'm talking they put the movie out though first on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta pee.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.
Sorry.